Hey guys, today I am going to be reviewing something a little different than what I usually do, which is going to be a modification that I made on a Green Lantern Toys R Us movie exclusive diecast power ring. Now, I don't have any originals left on me, but this is how it was originally sold about 2 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, from Toys R Us. This was a Toys R Us exclusive, and it was the only, I guess you could say, affordable Green Lantern die-cast metal ring that they had. Every other ring available from most shops, most resellers, I would say, were kind of plastic and aimed towards children. And so, also as a result of that, a lot of them actually looked pretty bad, and if you remember, the 3-inch figures from the Green Lantern line each came with a power ring, and it was made so poorly, and the ring size so small that even children couldn't fit it. And so, yeah. Anyway, also a bit of a controversy was that there were people that were selling those rings, those children's rings, as these, and so you'd get a lot of people on eBay attempting to pass them off because they didn't look too different from each other in pictures, but it was made out of plastic, very thick plastic, and then, anyway, that's moving on. So you've seen the original picture of it, as seen here, and so what I had done was replace the jewel in the middle, because the jewel really wasn't a jewel, it was more like a, a plastic thing that kind of matched the oh, where'd my little placard go? Alright, here we go. So you can get a focus on that. So it was just a plastic piece that matched the color of all this other plastic that they used, green plastic. And so here's one of the modifications that I made, and this is the glow-in-the-dark jewel version. And over here we see a polished jewel that I'd replaced it with. Now, let's see. So, as far as it goes, the difficulty in doing this was really taking the rings apart. Because this was metal, you had to use a Dremel tool, kind of sand down the pieces. Well, I consider it sanding. It's more like drilling out the pieces, and then disconnecting this green plastic from the metal, and then just being able to work with the metal over here, as well as taking out the centerpiece jewel. And so, you know, the end result, you get something like this. I still didn't put a jewel in this one yet, and I'm not sure I will. Occasionally I take orders where someone wants a glow-in-the-dark jewel, or a traditional jewel, or some other type of jewel, so I have to keep that in mind. This is pretty much my last one, by the way. I think I may have one more, but whatever. Anyway, moving on. Here is the glow-in-the-dark jewel, so I'll just be reviewing this one first. As you can see, it's pretty movie accurate. It looks pretty nice. And I guess the kind of weird thing is that the official company's never actually released any kind of glow-in-the-dark variants for any of these, and you'd think that might have been like one of the top on the priority list, because if you think about it, a lot of what Green Lantern's powers were that his ring glowed with power, and then he could create kind of machinations and other things with his mind, like chainsaws and rifles or whatever. And so the reason this was popular, and I'm gonna see if this works in the daytime here, is that the glow is pretty significant, or at least was at the time that I made it. I think over time it becomes a little bit weaker, and certainly during the daytime it'll be less noticeable, but yeah, so you can kind of see it there, that it is glowing, and to prove that, let's get, yeah, that's the best I can do. There's no way to turn off the sun, unfortunately, unless you're Mr. Burns. So there's that one. The second ring that I had made was, let's see if we can get focus on this. was this jewel, where I'd replaced it with a much more polished jewel. And so this would resemble most of the rings that are on the market. And also and a little bit more accurate to how it was depicted in the movies. Or at least whatever prop Ryan Reynolds would be wearing. And so, you know, there you have it. It is a dangerous process in order to convert these normal Toys R Us rings into one of these guys, because first of all, you have to learn how to kind of cut your own jewels, and this is to be done by hand. You can't really, I mean, I assume if you're rich enough you can get a machine to do it or something, but if you're trying to just modify a toy ring, well, you know, I don't think most people are going to put, you know, that much money towards it. But yeah, I guess one of the key things when you are modifying it is, let's see if we can get, is this little centerpiece right there. Now that's a big hunk of metal that holds the original piece in place. And so if you're going to cut your hand off and maim your fingers, not particularly in that order, this would be the place to do it. Because you kind of have to, yeah, so if you're going to try to mod your own stuff, if you can even find these rings anymore, because right now it's the year 2013, I believe that these things have been out of production for quite a while now. You'd be lucky to find these guys for less than 40 on the market nowadays. And I know with people, you know, going to costume conventions and well, comic conventions where they dress in costume, and Halloween coming up, you know, that the prices for these always kind of, you know, shoot up there. But yeah, if you are yeah, getting back to my initial point, if you're going to try to make this, remember to wear goggles. There'll be a lot of metal flying around, so I would also recommend wearing a mask. That way you don't inhale any of the little metal particles. And if you can, even though it would be restrictive when you're working with power tools, I would also suggest wearing, you know, at least one glove. That is to say, if you're holding your Dremel tool with your right hand, wear a glove on your left hand. That way when you're holding it and you accidentally slip, you're not going to go straight through your hand. You're going to nick the glove a little bit and hopefully save yourself at least a minor injury. Nothing can help you if you're just like ramming the drill, and you know, then it's going to go straight through everything anyway. Unless you have one of those Kevlar gloves, I guess. Yeah, so there you have it. Little review and a little bit of background on how I modified a glow-in-the-dark Green Lantern ring, a jewel Green Lantern ring, and there you have it. If you have any questions about the process, feel free to leave a note. I'll also be leaving a link to an Amazon account that is selling the Green Lantern die-cast rings, although I'm not sure you really want to purchase it for the price that they're asking. Hopefully it'll go down in the future, or hopefully if there's another Green Lantern movie, or they realize that there's a good market for this as a cheap costume for Halloween, that they'll bring these back.